Hello everybody, welcome to the 8th tutorial in the series The Basics of Programming with Python. Today we're going to be talking about for loops and while loops. Okay, so what are loops? Loops or looping is a way of running or executing a block of code a certain number of times without repeating it. So you want to run 1 plus 1 20 times, you don't have to type it 20 times. You can actually type it once in a loop and then you do it 20 times. That's what loops are, basically a way of repeatedly running code. The reason for having this is, having both the for loop and the while loop. So let me explain it separately. A while loop is a way of looping until a condition is met, or looping while a condition is being met. But a for loop is a way of looping a certain number of times. So you will most likely know how many times the for loop is going to loop. Okay, now so before we go ahead, let me talk about the range function. It is a way of generating numbers between a certain range. Okay, so now let's create a file. Okay, now so we have the print function and the input function. You also start the range function with the range word and then your parentheses, and so you're gonna put the amount of numbers you want to generate. So you want to generate 10 numbers, put range 10, and then you have range from 0 to 10. So actually this range 0 to 10 is from 0 to 9. Range 10 is from 0 to 9. You can also have range from 1 to 10. Well, note whenever I use this last value will not always stop at 10. So will stop a number before that. So this is the start and the stop. In this situation, in this case, it's gonna start from 0. In this case, it's gonna start from 1 because that's what we want. And you can also do it in a way that you have 1, range 1, stop at 10, but it skips every number twice. It skips every number twice. So when it gets to 1, it prints 1, then it skips 2, goes to 3, if I'm not wrong, like that. So this now you're gonna be using it anyways. We're gonna be using it here. So now we're gonna be using the for loop. So let's get to the for loop. Now let's print a for loop. We're gonna print a for loop. We're gonna use a for loop to print 1 to 100 basically. Sorry about that. We're gonna print for I in, I'm gonna use the range. So I'm gonna show you something. I'm not gonna do it directly. For I in range of 100, I'm gonna print I. This is how you write the for loop. For the for keyword I represents each value you get to when you in each range of number. For example, for I in range 100, so once you first start, it still starts from 0. Then I represents 0. It's a variable, represents 0. You print it. When it finishes this block of code, it comes back here and changes to 1. It prints 1 like that, like till it gets to 99. I told you it doesn't get to 100. It stops a number before 100. But if you want 100, you can change it to 101. But let's see what happens first. I'm gonna save that and then we're gonna run it. As you can see, we got to 99. Oops. Let's see where that started from. 0. So we can put changes to 101. Save that. And then we can have our 100 here, but still start from 0. So that's our 101 numbers actually. So let's put this at 101 and start this at 1. We're gonna save that and run it. So this is how you write a for loop basically. Your for keyword, you can use any letter, you know, a G, but you have to change this to, you can use a num, it's just like a variable. So you're gonna save that and run it. See the same thing, see the same result. So what is us for J in range, it gets to 1, prints 1, goes to the next one, prints 2, J changes to 3, prints 3, J changes to 4, it prints 4, and that, so until when it gets to 100, stop, and then it comes out of the for loops. So let's print some here. So done. You're gonna save that and run it. So in loop and get to the last line, you see done. So you get how this works now. Now let's write the loop that prints the sum from 1 to 100. So let's be a little bit technical. Okay, so before we do that, we're gonna print this in 2 steps. So when you run that, I want to explain what I said the other time. So as you can see, it skips two numbers, so it steps forward by two numbers rather. So when it gets to 1, it steps forward by two number 2, 3. Gets to 3, steps forward by two number 4, 5, till what gets to the stop point 100, 101. So after 95, two numbers 97, two numbers 99, then it stops before the next one, before it gets or pass over the stop value. Okay, I hope that's clear. If you have any question, make sure you comment down below. I'll be glad to answer your questions. Okay, now let's write the code that sum prints the sum from 1 to 100. So we want to create a variable called total. We will equate that to 0. Now we write the follow for x. It can be x, it can be anything, it can be high. Most times programming we use I, J, K. So you use I most times. So for I in range, remember I want to print the sum of 1 to 100. So 1 will start from 1 and 1 will stop at 1, 1. So we basically be stopping at 100 for I range 1 to 101. So what we want to do here is total. This total we're going to add 1 to it, so that's total plus 1. So every time you come here, it adds what this plus total plus I actually. So every time it comes here, it adds this number to total. For example, total is at 0 when it first starts. When I is 1, it adds I to total and then equates that to total. So total becomes 1. Then it comes here, it adds 2 to total and then total becomes 3. Like that, it keeps adding it up in the loop till the loop is done. So after the loop is done, I'm gonna print the total is comma, and then we're gonna print total. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna run that, save and run. So the total is 5050, as you can see. So that's the sum from 1 to 100 basically. So when it gets to 1, I've explained that. I hope you understand it, and if you understand, please always drop a comment down below so I can explain this better to you again. If you don't understand, I mean, this should be easy to understand this way. Okay, so let's move on to